All right, everyone, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. Going to be breaking down the core plays here for week 5. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, guys, this slate definitely got a little bit easier with some news that kind of just happened. A lot of really random injuries and just players being out that it didn't seem like would be out when I did my first video. So that does kind of shape up the slate a decent amount. And so let's start with kind of the biggest piece of news. Christian Watson's going to be out. We already knew that. We were already assuming that, or he's listed as doubtful. Romeo Dobbs is also doubtful as well, dealing with a personal issue. Obviously, we hope everything's well for him. So looking at it, guys, that does leave Jaden Reed and also Dontavian Wicks to be two of the better plays that we have. On top of that, they are two players that are going to find themselves into great matchups as well. The issue that we have here with the Green Bay Packers is potentially they probably make more sense in a GPP because the LA Rams are going to be good players for us as well. And then Tucker Kraft's in a good spot. Kyron Williams in a good spot. Josh Jacobs is in a good spot. Like, the question is, how many players from this game is too many? And I don't have the answer to that just yet. But Wicks at this price tag, definitely going to be someone we're loading up on. And if we just look at this in terms of a value standpoint, the 9-to-5 cheat sheet has those two plays as two of the better value plays on the slate. So personally, I think I'm going to be loading up on those guys. But as you guys can see, we got Trey Tucker popping up in there. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about that matchup with Denver. The next play that I really like is going to be Christian Kirk. So going back to that Green Bay LA Rams game, very high scoring game. That's also part of the equation. That's why I want to get to them. But then we look at Christian Kirk. He's in a decently high scoring game and gets a good matchup going against that Indiana defense. And he's been someone that has been getting targeted a lot more over the past few games, double-digit targets over his past few games as well. It seemed like last week, especially, they made a conscientious effort to get him the football early on, get him some short routes, and get him going, which also helped get Trevor Lawrence scoring. One thing you won't notice from his stats is that Trevor Lawrence missed him on a wide open touchdown. I think it was like a 35, maybe. I actually don't remember the yards. It probably ranges from like 30 to 65. It was a deep ball. Trevor Lawrence missed him, and it would have been a walk-in touchdown. It's a little bit encouraging that he still had a good game. And so I'm more than happy to get to him, especially at this cheap of a price tag. Now, Jordan Whittington is also someone that I really like this week as well. Not sure I need to play him as a core play. At the same time, if he's going to be playing about 90% of the snaps again, which is what he played last week, I expect this heavy workload as well. 8 targets, 6 receptions, 62 yards against the Packers defense that might still be banged up. I will be going out of my way to target him. Please do not burn me, Sean McVay. I do not want that after being on him 2 weeks ago and then not really being on him that much last week. Do not do it to me again, Sean McVay. So yeah, Sean McVay kind of made me look dumb. I would say 2 weeks ago, telling people to be on Jordan Whittington. Where he hasn't made me look dumb is with Kyron Williams. I've been banging the Kyron Williams drum for 2 years now, and it's worked out. And now Kyron Williams gets a good matchup going against the Green Bay Packers as well. It really felt like Aaron Jones could have had a massive game last week against the Packers. They just kind of, I don't know, they went away from him in the second half, and they probably shouldn't have. They should have just kept hammering home the rushing game. And I kind of expect the Rams to do that with Kyron Williams. He's basically not leaving the field, although Ronnie Rivers did get a little bit more work last week. I'm still happy to get to Kyron Williams this week as well. Now we do have some decisions to be made, but I think I'm just going to go back to Jordan Mason. So kind of lather, rinse, repeat here, guys, with the running backs. I've been telling you guys, Jordan Mason, Kyron Williams, I think almost every single week. And even given their pricing, they're still a little bit too cheap. Now, I will say one player that's going to be kind of very interesting, I would say, is Tyrone Tracy Jr. going against the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks defense has been a little rough against opposing running backs, and part of the reason as to why I like him, a lot of you guys probably already know this, is that Devin Singletary is currently doubtful with an injury that, watching it, guys, I didn't see him get injured. I did think we were getting a little bit more of Tyrone Tracy last week than I was expecting in terms of volume, but he still only ended up with like 5 opportunities. A few of them got called back, but we're getting a starting running back that's probably going to play about 70% of the snaps. Like, that would be huge to me. This is the snap counts from last week. I expect this to kind of flip. Maybe Tracy only gets like 55% of the work. Maybe Dante Miller, who's kind of more of an explosive back, a little bit of a different look from Tyrone Tracy and Eric Gray, where Eric Gray and Tyrone Tracy are a little bit more of the same thing, I guess, if you will. Maybe that happens, but we're getting a starting running back, a guy that's going to get at least 10 opportunities, most likely, at such a cheap price tag. So Tyrone Tracy Jr. is going to be someone that I'm on the fence of whether I want to make him a core player or not. The issue that I have with this slate is that there is a lot of value And we might not need to play him. Like any other week, that'd be awesome. But this week, I don't know if we even need to get there. And you could argue Kenneth Walker in that same game is in a massive spot now as well because Malik Neighbors is out. That's going to really hurt that offense for the New York Giants. And so with that, I could see someone like Kenneth Walker just having another massive game. And I don't really want to miss out on that. I view Kenneth Walker is one of the best running backs in the league. And so I'm going to go with him for now. Zach Charbonnet is actually going to get a decent amount of work as well, if that is the game script that I think it will be. So he's someone that you could play a little bit in GPPs and hope that he gets the touchdown. Guys, for me at tight end, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to go with Tucker Kraft. It's a good matchup there. Again, a little bit worried that I have too many players from this game in general. But he's just playing a bunch of snaps. Luke Musgrave has not looked good. 9 targets. He should get a little bit more in this game. He just looks the part and simple. That being said, Colby Parkinson as well in that same game. Maybe you're a little bit worried about getting too much exposure to the Green Bay Packers. You could roll with Colby Parkinson. He's playing basically the same amount of snaps. 7 targets last week, 4 receptions. You look at his prop line. They're both at 3.5 receptions, both over bets that I like there. So could play him as well. So now we jump on into the quarterback position. And honestly, with this build, I think I would have to go with Jordan Love here, right? Like you just kind of have to, given the fact of how many plays I'm on from the Green Bay Packers. Again, I don't like doing that, but that's kind of just how it worked out. Personally, I view Brock Purdy as more of the best play that we are getting on this slate in terms of pricing. And that being said, like Deshaun Watson, if you guys are going more of a studs and duds build, Deshaun Watson is actually ranking out as the best value play that we are getting on this slate in general. So I really like getting to him as well. But again, given the lineup that I have going, it just makes sense to play Jordan Love, given the fact that I'm already on Kraft, Reed, and Wicks. Now that's a lot due to pricing. I get that, but they're just going to be easy plays. And so guys, here's what I'm looking at kind of for a core plays build. Now, yes, we would have to make some slight adjustments. That's why I talked about some other plays, but I really like the way that this sets us up. You guys can make those pivots that you see fit. And then guys, I was curious, so I just ran a quick build with the 9-to-5 lineup builder to see what it spit out to me as the top build, and you're going to see not that much different from what I just spit out to you guys. For GPPs, do want to point out the obvious that we would want to stack quarterback with receiver, but definitely interesting that that's the lineup that's being spit out to us. Now, that's going to be all for today's video, guys. Make sure to give a like and subscribe to the channel. You're going to see me putting out more and more content throughout the week and throughout the rest of the season. Now that all the NFL tools, I wouldn't say are finalized. I'm always working on updates and improving them, but they're kind of where I would like them to be. And so now I can spend less time with the operational stuff and spend more time putting out content for you guys.